Welcome back, friends. In this lecture, we will see how to create a table in a database. So, in order to create and maintain table, definitely you need a database. We know how to create a database. So, by using the syntax create database, database name, we can create a database. So, those things and all we have already discussed in our previous lecture. So, while creating a table, so you have to define the table in the way of rows and columns. So mainly it will be mentioned with the columns. So in the columns, you should mention the name of the column, name of the columns, then data type. So there are various data types are there. The data types can be, for example, integer, float, string, and it will be going on like that, and etc. And there are some default values can be present as the column value. Okay. So before going to create the before going to create the tables, so we have to discuss what are all the built-in data types available in the SQL. So the first one is numeric data types. So numeric data types in the sense it will speak about tiny int, small int, medium int, then int, then big int, and bit. The next thing is floating point numbers. So floating point numbers will speak about decimal, float, and double. The next thing is strings. The strings will discuss about character, character, binary, blob, text, enum, and set. Then last thing is date and time. So date and time will specify date, time, timestamp, and EM. Okay. So these are some of the built-in data types that is available in SQL. So I think this base is enough in order to know. So what are all the data types available in SQL? So blob means it is binary large object. So now we will discuss how to create a table. So for creating the table, so we have to use the syntax create table, then table name, open bracket, column 1 and data type of that column. Column 1 and data type of that column. Then column 2, data type of that column. Then it will be going on like that. Close the bracket with the semicolon. So the column parameters specify the names of the columns of the table. So the data type parameter specifies the type of the data the column can hold. For example, var character, integer, and data, etc. For example, if you are going to create a student table, so what are all the things we require? So I am creating a student table here. Create table. The name of the table will be student. Okay. So the column 1 will be student ID. Student ID or roll number. So we know that student ID will be having the data type of integer. So I am mentioning an int space int. Then the next column can be name of the student. So name will be represented with the help of the string. So the data type can be varchar. So the length of the character can be, I am mentioning as up to 20. Then student ID, name, then which department. So department can also be mentioned with the help of string. So department. So I'm again mentioning with var char of. So the length can be 20. Then close the bracket with a semicolon. So this is how we can create a table. So with the help of this syntax, we can easily create a table. And in order to see the content of this table, okay, in order to see the content of the table, we can use the select statement. But till now, we haven't inserted any value. We haven't inserted any value to this table. We have just created the table. The schema will looks like this. The table now it will looks like this. So it can have any rows that is based on the column what we are, how much values we are going to give. The first thing will be student ID. Then next thing will be name. And the last thing will be department. Like this, a table will be created. And here the values will be inserted. So how to insert a value? So those things will be those things will be discussed in the future lectures. Okay. So this is how you can create a table, and you can clearly understand that by the syntax, the use of the data types in order to create the table. Okay. After creating the table, you can display the table by using the command called describe. Describe table name. So describe, I am mentioning as describe student. So if you are mentioning this command means SQL will display the schema of the table. So okay, this thing will be displayed. Okay. So I hope you have understood the concept. So how to insert the value in the table and all will be discussed in the next lecture. Thank you.